What's up, guys? HOTSHOTFRONTIER back at it again with another video. And in this video, guys, we're doing a ban list prediction for the upcoming ban list later this month. And shout out to Konami because they finally did give us some clear communication and say, all right, you guys want a ban list? We're going to release it this month, which is great to hear personally. And a lot of problems do need to be addressed, mainly with Snake Eyes. Now with the addition of Fiendsmith, they're even more broken. So a lot does need to happen. This ban list, Snake Eyes was broken before Fiendsmith came out. So hopefully they hit engine, but we'll get right into that. Before we get started, guys, if you guys do buy cards on TCGPlayer, we recently became an affiliate. Definitely go ahead and hit the code down below, the link, and go ahead and buy whatever you guys want. Anything you do buy supports me. I appreciate you guys so much. And go ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. But all right, let's get started with this. And of course, this is going to hurt because a lot of these cards I do love, but to see the game proceed in a healthy way, we do have to make those hard choices. And these are all my opinions. Let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, let's get started with Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. So personally, I hate to do it. Has to be banned. So we're going to follow that same trend of them banning Baronne de Fleur and of course Borreload Savage Dragon. Now, I wasn't exactly happy with that, but you have to really just take note to how easy it is to summon something like this. Now with the Fiendsmith engine, you could easily summon this, and personally there's a lot of resources in Yu-Gi-Oh where this can at least have 4 counters. I'm not even joking, it's crazy right now. I think that this getting banned will really shuffle up the end boards of a lot of different decks and make more decks more open to being Nibiru'd, of course, and more susceptible to other hand traps. So moving on, we're going to leave this here, and hopefully we kind of enter more of a healthy format. Next up is Gofu, and this is currently banned for really good reason because we're actually just going to leave it here, don't change anything. I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Not a good idea. Let's just leave it right there and move on. Next to Beatrice, right? Beatrice, of course, is getting banned. Personally, with the Fiendsmith engine, it's going to turbo out the Beatrice and go ahead and just dump whatever they want to dump and help set up an even stronger board. Now, I think it's finally time for this card to go. Also, it's not a big hit to Burning Abyss because we don't really see Burning Abyss anymore, unfortunately, but it is this card's time to finally just drop out. Next up, we have Albion the Sacred Fire Dragon, and following the trend of banning cards, let's ban this card as well, because it enables a Gimmick Puppet Lock for Branded, and I think Branded can do so much better in terms of other cards they can play, right? They can play the Light and Darkness engine, and the Light and Darkness Dragon Lord is a very good card. It's a very good Omnigate to have on board, so easily can replace this card, and Branded can still live on. Next up, we do have the Pyro. I can't say the full name, but this card is getting banned. It supports the FTK with Snake Eyes, and personally, this card was a troublesome card a long time ago, and they never hit it, especially when they combined it with Electron way back in the day. I think, you know, once they were kind of like, oh, it's okay, it's kind of died down, let's leave it there. No, I think it has resurfaced, and this card needs to just be hit, and we can move on. Now, we do have Call by the Grave. Now, of course, as you guys know, it's limited, right? You can make the argument that I can go to 2 or even 3. Personally, I think there has to be a balance in what we have in the current format, and this is a very broken card. Of course, I was happy when it was at 3. Now that we have Crossless Designator, I feel like that's a much better card. You can't have both at 3, and I think that we're kind of riding the wave of Crossless Designator. Of course, it's good that we at least still have this at 1, so you're playing 4 copies of of course, hand traps. You're playing the mirror hand trap in the deck, but I think we can maybe see a format where this could go back to 2 eventually, but I think it would have to stay at 1 personally, so we're gonna leave it at don't change anything. Moving on, we had D-Shifter, and I'm gonna say off the bat, don't even change anything. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but it's a necessary evil, and it does help out a lot of decks that do, you know, that are very compatible with this, right? Like Ritual Beast is one, personally. So I think that it's a good effect where just stop your opponent from doing anything that turn, but at the same time, you can't just consistently keep using this, right? Because you have to have no cards in your graveyard. So it's a really good balance, in my opinion, of course. Moving on, we have TTT, and I'm gonna say limit it. It's at 3 currently. Let's bring it to 2. or you could put it to 1, but personally, I like it at 2. I like how it's a free agent card. Your opponent activates a monster effect, which of course they'll do. Then you can activate, draw 2, go ahead and change your heart something, right? Look at your opponent's hand. So it's a pretty cool effect, and honestly, it's one of the better spells that we do have in the game. Next up, we have Super Polymerization. It's currently at 3, and I'm gonna leave it at 3. I think we've kind of gone away from like Loving Defender, Yugioh, and really abusing that with Super Poly. Now it's still in the format, but people are want to prefer the combo route with the Phantom Yugioh, and there's not much. The extra is very tight. You can't really have more than maybe 1 Loving Defender, if not none. So I think this card can stay at 3, and we can kind of just move forward with that. Maybe in the future this will be addressed again for sure, but for now it's okay. Moving on, we do have Brilliant Fusion, and it's currently banned, and I think we should bring it back to 1. It has been a while since we've actually seen anything with Brilliant Fusion, the shenanigans that it did cause. We should bring it to 1, just kind of test it. Let's see what happens. If not, something terrible, we just banned the next one, of course. But they had done that before where they brought something back and then immediately banned the next ban list. So honestly, they live and learn from their mistakes. Next up, we have Pot of Prosperity. And I know this is a hot topic, but I can agree that this could either go to 2 or 1. Honestly, I like how it's a somewhat, not balanced, but listen, you go ahead and banish 3 or 6. If you go 6, right, you lose a lot of advantage going into like mid-game to end-game, because now you're losing a lot of your resources. I think that's somewhat of a balanced effect. It can still get ashed, and you don't get the effect of adding a card, 1 out of 6 cards or 1 out of 3 cards, right? It's not bad. Now, for decks that don't care about the extra deck, of course it's kind of broken, but you really do care about your extra deck. It's tight, but you still need the consistency, and it helps with that. So, at the very most, leave it at 1. Let's move forward. Next up, we have Dragonic Diagram, and I think this card deserves to be back at 3. It's been so long since we've seen that, and come on, in the game right currently, it's not doing anything. Bring that back to 3. Next up, we do have Victory Dragon, and of course, it's banned for the fact that the card text states that if let's say it's game 1, and you go ahead and attack your opponent directly with this and reduce their life to 0, you win the match. Now, I know that sounds broken, but like, think about it. In our current game, how often are you going to actually be able to do that, right? I don't think much. And a lot of the prize cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are pretty much the same effect, right? So I think you could either just, if you're bringing it out to 1, 2, 3, you're only going to play 1 anyway. What's the point of having that on the ban list? Next up, we have the Flamberge Dragon. Bring that to 1, and Snake Eyes Ash to 1. Personally, again, it's time for them to hit Engine. I'm not saying they have to hit both cards, but we have to see at least something hit from that deck, and we'll see if it's still the Year of Fire after that. But I want to say, I don't want to say too much after that, but you guys already know what it is with Snake Eyes. It's a broken strategy, and they deserve to be hit at some capacity. Now, we do have Unchained Javara, and this should personally go back to 2. I know it did get hit at 1. Unchained was broken, and I know that this card is just such a great card, especially in Yubel too. So I'll let see this at 2. Moving on, we have D Barrier, and yeah, you would have to ban this, unfortunately. Another just broken concept of a trap card. Declare this, your opponent can't do that this turn. Now, if it doesn't get banned, I honestly have to tell you guys, use this as many times as you possibly can before it gets hit, because eventually it will get hit. But like, it's pretty much like a scapegoat target, right? They're like, oh, everyone's complaining about all these cards. All right, let's just pick the less evil out of the bunch, right? Just pick this one then. That's what's gonna happen eventually. Next up, we do have our tuner card, which I'm blanking out on the name, but we're gonna put this at 1. And the reason we are putting this at 1 is because, it got banned around the time where a lot of tuners were getting banned because of Hulk. But if you look around, Hulk has been gone for a long time. This can definitely go back to 1. Blow up bulb. There we go. It's its time, this card's time to shine. Maybe, who knows? But having it at 1, what's it gonna do? Okay. Moving on, we have Heavy Metaphos Electromite, and personally for me, go to 1. I like pendulums. I love pendulums. When have you seen like top placement with pendulums now? It's very, very minuscule. Very, if not any, right now. So this card helps a lot. I know we have a similar effect, a similar monster effect with this, but you have to go OG, and either you go big or go home, right? We do have Dino Rush with Pinkertops, and this card is at 2. Personally, you can just bring it back at 3. I think, you know, of course, Fenrir is a better Pinkertops, but you don't see many people, of course, running Pinkertops now. And with 3, you may see a little more, but if not, you know, not many, because again, people prefer to run Fenrir. Next, we do have the Draco Slayer, and personally for me, I'm gonna put this at 1. I typically say this a lot, but I think we can test it at 1, just like we could test, you know, certain cards like Brilliant Fusion at 1, just for a format. Let's see, okay? Nothing might, you know, it might not happen. I think a lot of trap strategies will use it, personally, like maybe Labyrinth, but beyond that, like meta decks like Snake Eyes, they're not using this card, for sure. So I want to test it at 1. Let me know what you guys think down below. Maybe I'm crazy. Next up is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now, I'm going to put this at 2 or 3. Really, I want to put this at 2. Now, I'm not saying, well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this ban list, bring it back to 2, but this is more of for a future ban list. So if you guys are watching, I'm not saying this ban list should go back to 2. A future ban list, hopefully, you know, hopefully it'll go back to 2. We don't see most cards go to 2 on the ban list. So at that point, maybe, you know, a longer time, it just goes to 3, and we kind of just test it from there. But we'll say 2 for now, okay? Future ban list. Don't roast me in the comment section. Next up, we have Fenrir, and I'm actually going to say don't change anything at all. I love how it is. I mean, see, you can really either just put it at 2, or if you want to focus on just other people using it just for Kashtira stuff or Kashtira engine, you put it at 1, because 1, you can't search itself. You search another Kashtira card. All right, fine. 2, it's just going to search itself. 3, it's going to search itself. So I think it should just stay at 3. It's currently fine in the current game. Next up is Lightning Storm. They should definitely put this back to 3. They like just try to hit random stuff, and they brought this to 2 for like no reason. It's a great side deck card. It wasn't a broken side deck card. I feel like it was fair, right? Again, mid game, you're rarely using this against, maybe if you're versing Mimigul or something. Like, that's the only reason all of your cards would be face down. Bring it back to 3 finally. Come on, Konami. And finally, we have IP Masquerena. IP Masquerena. It's either you ban it or you keep it the same, right? I'm gonna say you keep it the same. I think out of Appaloosa and IP Masquerena, we should just ban Appaloosa. Keep IP off your list, okay? I know it's a broken Link 2, but we don't have to start banning all of our end board pieces. I think Appaloosa deserves to be here for a lot of different reasons. It's so easy just to accumulate the amount of counters on it and monster negates. But IP, we're not at that point yet. I think IP can stay here for sure. But guys, this is the cards that I picked for the upcoming ban list later this month. If you guys agree or don't agree, let me know down below, and also let me know what cards I missed on this list, of course. If you guys did like the video, make sure to give it a huge like, comment down below, of course, all of your thoughts. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. All right, guys, that's it for me. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.